Namaskar, Dr. Vinay P. Sahastrabuddhe, Dr. Her Excellency Dr. Devyani Kobragade, Indian Ambassador to the Kingdom of Cambodia, Your Excellency Dr. Tean Samnang, Director, NIDIR, National Institute of Diplomacy and International Relations, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. It's my great honor this morning to be a part of this very small but important encounter called Knowledge India Dialogue, so to say, India-Cambodia Dialogue. Because as Dr. Vinay P. Sahastrabuddhe mentioned, it's not one-way traffic. It should be two-way traffic. If we talk of relations between Cambodia and India, I think no other country has had this privilege as Cambodia with India. Dr. Tean Samnang mentioned early on that we have had this relation from the time immemorial, from long time, from the beginning of our history. Record history mentioned of just first century, but I would say with no doubt that it must have been long before that. Because history relies only on what people remember, but before their memory, that's why we say from the time immemorial. There must have been long connection, because Cambodia, or those days went by the name Funan Napo Phnom Kingdom or Empire. That's the first kingdom of Cambodia. There must have been trade and the travels between this region. That's Cambodia those days, not the Cambodia today with this small land, but it's covered most of this mainland Southeast Asia, what the French call Indochina, or of course Indochine. So the trade route between India and Southeast Asia was the Funan Kingdom, with the main port Okao, or Okao, what the Vietnamese say. That's the main port for Southeast Asia. No other ports known so far was more well known and bigger than the Okao seaport. With this long-standing relations, Cambodia and India has very special connection. I used to say that the Indian epics, such as Ramayana, Mahabharata, as what Dr. Tean Samnang mentioned, that some other very important texts were written in India. But I would go further to say that it was studied and interpreted and translated and put into practice more in Cambodia than in India. A testimony, as what Dr. Tean Samnang mentioned, the Matan, between the Yaksa and the angels were done in such a way that No other places, even in India, the original land, could not match what the Cambodians have done. Taking from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. From this long-standing relationship between our two countries and down the history, we have had a lot of connection and mutual benefits and respect, and you can feel, as Dr. Saharabuddhe mentioned, that when you visit Cambodia, you don't feel at a foreign land. Especially Indians visiting Cambodia, you feel at home, I would say. So as all this, what we have, though we have modified to a great extent, but originally from India, starting with the Buddhism, Brahmanism or Hinduism, language, the influence of Sanskrit and Pali are very visible. And Dr. Tean Samnang just mentioned that even the name of your Honorable President of ICCR, Saharabuddhe, Vinay means Vinay. In Khmer we call Vinay, but in the Indian they pronounce in Vinay. But Vinay, Vinaya is Pali and Sanskrit, Vinay. And Sahastrabuddhe, Sahasra, 1,000, with knowledge or wisdom. So 1,000 wisdom. Moreover, the spiritual and cultural connection between our two countries are not matched by any other countries. Though India may have not material impact much on Cambodia as other countries has done, but spiritually and the soul and heart are more visible. And in our body, what is important is the mind, the soul, and the heart. So when we have similar hearts or similar soul, I think that's more important than the body and the material things, material components. So I myself got the privilege to win the ICCR scholarship to do my PhD at the University of Delhi in 2011 to 2015, and because of the ICCR, so I'm still grateful and always grateful to ICCR, the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, for providing me the scholarship. And I was in India for almost 5 years, in addition to my 9 years stay and studies in Sri Lanka. So I was in South Asia for altogether about 14 years. Quite long, 1/3 of my life. So I'm quite familiar not to boast, but I'm quite familiar with South Asia. But I travel extensively in India, South Asia, including Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, of course Sri Lanka itself, and barring Pakistan. I did not go to Pakistan. I wanted to visit Takasila and some other places, but just had not the courage to cross over from India to Pakistan. So with this, I would say that Cambodia and India has shared all the treasures together, especially with regard to the knowledge and wisdom from the ancient epics, starting from the Vedic text, to the Mahabharata, Ramayana, and some other texts, important texts, especially during the Angkor period. We could interpret and translate the ideas from all these epics into action, into fruitful use in the Cambodian context. For that reason, we were able to be a great empire in Southeast Asia and in Asia itself. So I would like to stop here and will like to listen to you and to share some more. Thank you for your kind attention.